Welcome back to Pewter Power. Mike Dean, Joe Bell, and we are ready to go last and final segment. We talked about the Giants game that was coming up. Of course, the Carolina game, 16-10 win. Buccaneers are now 1-0. We've got a couple other stuff. We're going to go around the NFL a little bit. Joe's got some NFL news, so we're going to talk about that a little bit.
Actually, what I want to talk about is this week's games. We know last week, the only real one I saw that was a big upset was that the Washington Redskins, beat the New Orleans Saints, pounded them into the ground. 41 to, I think, 14 or something in that
New Orleans
range.
defense did not look good.
No, which is good for Tampa.
Thank you.
At some point, hopefully, that'll help Tampa out. But I did go over some games for this week that I thought were pretty important to everybody, for Tampa especially. The Washington Redskins did I do have last week's, did defeat New Orleans 40-32. New Orleans came back a little bit, but Washington kind of went into the prevent, try not to lose. The New York Jets pounded Buffalo.
We watched that game, and I thought New York looked really, really well.
Amazed.
Buffalo doesn't look good, but New York looks pretty good.
Unfortunately for us, Atlanta looked really good against the Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs are bad. We already know the Chiefs aren't a good team. They won 40-24. We'll see better this week with Atlanta to see how they do this week.
Matt Ryan has so many weapons now. Oh, my God.
Unfortunately, he's going to be a force to reckon with this next season.
Julio Jones, Roddy McWhite. There's a lot of guys that have. Holy crap.
Totally amazing.
All right.
And there's a game tonight on television right after our show. After you watch our show at 8:30, you flip over to the NFL Network, if you have it, which I don't. You can watch the Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay, who lost last week to San Francisco, didn't look good at all either. San Francisco looked like a much better team last week.
Green Bay relying too much on Aaron Rodgers.
Discount double check.
Okay.
I had to get that in at least once.
Okay.
But
we're giving a free advertisement now. Did you charge that?
You got to give that to somebody.
Okay.
But it's pretty fun.
It's funny.
But yeah, he didn't have a good game last week. Tonight's game should be pretty good. And there's some good games this week all around. I don't remember who Atlanta plays this week. I didn't really write those down, so I'm not sure.
That's your job.
I know, I didn't write them down, and I normally have all that. But
it's all right.
I picked Atlanta to lose this week. I think they play Denver, actually. They play Denver on Monday night, I believe.
That's
pretty sure that's what that game is.
Good game.
So I'm hoping that Peyton has a great game because we have to play him later on the season. Have it now, get it over with, so when you play us, you don't play so well.
Let's get into a little bit of fantasy football here real quick. Got a couple more minutes left in this final segment. Fantasy football, I know that you're a big fantasy guy.
I did win this week against Chris, who is my mentor in fantasy football. So I did get to defeat him in week 1.
You did?
That was a good thing.
That's really good.
I was last in my other league.
For you guys that have Doug Martin, 95 yards, not too bad.
Just short
of that 100-yard mark. I don't know if you get extra bonus points for that on your team.
Yeah, you normally do, and everybody was kind of complaining when they brought in LeGarrette Blount in the second quarter after Martin had such a great first quarter. I really didn't understand that either, why you would take out somebody with the hot hand, who Greg Schiano said, if you're having the hot hand, you're playing in the game.
Right.
So they took him out. I didn't understand that at
all.
This week, there's some good matchups out there. Last week, again, RG3 had a great game. Probably will again because they're playing the St. Louis Rams.
Let me ask you the question, okay? People that picked RG3 over Andrew Luck, do you think that's going to trend differently by the end of the season?
I think that's going to go and come. I think both those quarterbacks are going to be two of the best in the league very quickly. They're not going to take a long time for that learning curve to happen because they're both great.
But yeah, you pick Cam Newton, okay? Cam Newton had 291 yards passing, okay? He had 2 picks, but the point is that you're getting yardage off of that, so that's one of the things you got to look at. Is it going to be Cam Newton, sophomore? Is he going to have a sophomore jinx? No. What about if you have RG3, is RG3 really going to sustain this all the way across the season?
And when you play fantasy football, you have to remember that you're looking at matchups. Every week it changes. You may not play RG3 one week if you're playing the New York Giants, but you would play him this week because you're playing the St. Louis Rams, who have not a very good defense. So it just really depends on who you're playing against on who you're going to use.
Okay.
It really does matter a lot on that.
All right, well, let's get to our bonehead of the week. And the bonehead of the week is
Vincent Jackson. He is the tight end for the San Francisco 49ers.
It's Vernon Davis.
Oh, Vernon Davis, I'm sorry. Because Vincent Jackson, I think, is one too.
I was going to say. Okay, gotcha.
Vincent Jackson
Vincent
is the bad guy.
Vernon Davis is the bad guy. Exactly.
Too many people too close alike on me on there. Isn't that crazy?
Vernon Davis, what did he do?
He's the tight end for the San Francisco 49ers. He catches a touchdown pass. Everybody else is dunking over the goalpost. That's the new thing.
Which you can, I can't.
I can do that. You can't do that. He doesn't make it.
You mean
if you saw by the picture, it hits the goalpost, bounces back. The worst thing is he falls and lands funny on his ankle and kind of limped off a little bit. So, guys, you got to be careful. You're making millions of dollars. Do your little wiggle, throw the ball on the ground.
Do this, whatever you want to do.
He did the same thing. He scored a touchdown. He went to spike the ball, and it fell out of his hand, and he spiked nothing.
Yeah, but he didn't hurt himself.
But he didn't hurt himself.
That's the key.
And he laughed. You know, you can't get hurt doing that kind of stuff. Come on, man.
All right, we want to go on. We had our picks last week. I had 21-17. It was 16-10. Joe had 24-14 or something. What is
Tampa Bay Buccaneers go to the New York Giants. They stun them. They win. Go to 2-0.
What's the score?
27-17.
I'm going 21-14 Buccaneers.
I think they're going to win.
It's going to be a nice
week.
We will be 2-0 when we come back next week.
Yes, we will. Or 1-1.
No. What are you talking
Thank you again to Love Honda and Love Motorsports for all you do for our show. We appreciate that. And make sure after this show you click over to the NFL Network, watch a little bit of football.
See ya next week.